All right, all right.
All right, I'm excited for this show.
Sorry, my mic my mic was muted.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But what's the deal, everybody? We are back with another review. We are covering Tyler Perry's movie Straw. This movie, I got triggered a lot by this movie. Like this movie was an emotional, what do you call that? What is that word?
Like
Like
emotional roller coaster or
yeah, like it just pulled on a lot of emotions. Like if you've been through some things in your life, like especially hardships, I feel like I don't know about anybody else, but watching this movie really it really pulled like you can just really have empathy for her story and what she went through. And we're gonna dive into all of that. Like I think like we titled this to me in my perspective, this is one of Tyler Perry's most powerful stories yet. And so
I
what
concur.
were your thoughts? What were your thoughts about this movie?
So I was triggered as well as you were. I am Mexican Italian, and I feel like my Hispanic side, we normally get, labeled, picked at, especially right now with everything that's going on. So
Mm,
I really was triggered because this was a single mom.
yeah.
I'm a single mom as well of three. And she is working her butt off because the system has failed her, you know,
Yeah.
and she is working a job and trying to get, the money for the medicine for her child.
Mhm.
It was very triggering because I'm currently going through a divorce and I have three kids. And to be in a position where it's like, wow, you have to make sure your kids have insurance because if not, we're nothing here without an insurance. Other countries, they provide that, like in Canada, they give you free insurance. And
Mm,
so that for me kind of like was a triggering factor because in the United States, it's like you have to pay for everything. This is
yeah.
a single mom who's colored. I'm Mexican. I'm always being targeted all the time. And they try to like belittle us, and it's like, you know what? We're very hardworking. We put our head down and we put the work.
Right.
I don't want to go too much into it because I know you want to give more feedback too. But for right now, that was what was very triggering for me was that she was working so hard and just everything that happened to her in that day or that 24 hours was just like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, and it came from all angles as well. Like
Yes.
it's
Work,
like her
school,
yes.
personal, her apartment, like everything.
Her yeah, like it's like her landlord was not reasonable, with even having some kind of empathy like her boss at her job like
Oh
he
my God. She annoyed
is
me. Sorry.
irking my soul. Oh my god,
But
like
you know what? It only takes like one person to really change a perspective, either
yes.
to make it negative or to make it positive, because like that coworker who was like trying to help her out.
Mhm.
Like the banker, like not the banker, but the main person at the bank. And
Yeah.
then that one what was she, like a police, or was she like an FBI agent? Like it only takes one person to really change the perspective, whether that's negative or positive.
Yeah, it's literally a war. It's like a battle of the minds,
Yeah.
like what energy are you putting out to people, around you, and what environments are you in and who are you around? Like that could really make or break somebody. And I think they portrayed that well by getting she went through so much. She was around so many negative people that it led her to the point to where she was willing to hold the clerk lady at the bank at gunpoint
Yeah.
in
Or
order
like
to
when they
just cash her
mhm.
check. Like all she wanted was her check and I felt that because I can't count how many times I've dealt with unreasonable people, and it's the simplest thing that you're just trying to ask, but you almost come off as a villain
Yeah.
because you're just trying to ask for this simple thing to be done, but they are so unreasonable or so unloving or so insensitive or whatever. It's like that they can't accomplish or do this single task, or just even if it's admitting something, or it's just like I think Tyler Perry did a great job with showing how you can get to the point of breaking. Like you can really get to your breaking point and do something that is like that could put her in jail for the rest of her life.
Yeah.
And she's not wrong when you
Life
look at,
altering.
yeah, life altering. And at the root of it all she was trying to do was get the medicine for her daughter and to be able to take care of her daughter.
Yeah. I mean, that was the whole main thing, was to get the paycheck. And then when he fired her, he was like, let me mail you the paycheck. And I'm like, are you kidding me? You
Oh,
have it
he
right there
pissed
on
me
your
off.
desk. Like the
Oh,
audacity of this man.
that's just evil. Like that's
Oh my
just
God. Like me personally, I would have cussed him out and grabbed that check. You
I
know?
honestly I would have, yeah, I would have took my check.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I would take my check. I would have cussed him out and looked through that pile and grabbed my check, you know? And then for him to accuse her, like when they did get robbed, oh, you set this up. And I was like, really? You
Right,
literally just
yeah.
fired me. How did I all of a sudden, within a matter of just seconds, like, hey, come, let's rob this store, you know? Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just it was crazy. This movie was I mean, I was just like, are you kidding me? Like this, it was just one thing after another, which was very it just had you on edge. And then, I didn't even know if to cry or to like go crazy at the same time with her, you know?
Yeah, they
The
did a
end
really
for
good.
me killed it. The end for me killed it, girl.
Well, okay. What about the end?
Uh, the end for me, because I didn't realize until the end that the daughter had already been dead.
I was actually confused at the end. I thought that that's
I
what they were trying to do, and then I felt like they almost
she
reneged. Like,
she still thought her daughter was alive. So the next day she was acting like her daughter was not dead. She just needs to get this paycheck so she can get this medicine so her daughter can be okay. That's why that whole entire day, like when you see the recap at the very end, where she went to the teacher and the principal was kind of like,
right?
why is she here? You know?
Did the daughter
So
like the daughter have been dead or she had just died?
no, she had died. She had died either the night before or early that morning. And she was just reenacting it because remember at the very end when they passed her mom and she was still at the bank? And her
Yeah.
mom tells her like she's been dead, like she's dead, you know? That's when it all like hit her and it did that little flashback of like when she went to the school. Remember she was running late and told the boss I have to go pick up my kid. And
Right.
it and she really didn't have to because she was just reenacting that day that when it really happened though. She didn't have the money, she didn't have the medicine. And for me it was just like, oh my God. Like
Mm,
because sometimes, like I'm not gonna lie, when you've been in a really bad relationship or something traumatizing, your brain will block certain memories for your own
yeah, it's a defense
mental
mechanism.
being. Yes, girl. Yes, the stuff that I've been through, I have literally blocked a lot of things that I was just like, oh my God. Now that I'm going with the therapist, like I realized, like, oh my God, I had really blocked this because if not, I would have done something crazy. So I think
Yeah.
that her whole day, she was reenacting that day, and her mind was just blocked that she was not dead because as long as she got her paycheck, she went and cashed it out and bought the medicine, her baby would be alive. So
Yeah.
when they handed her the phone and it was her mom letting her know like that her daughter was dead, and then it kind of like it hit her. I was just like, I was like, no, as it is, I already like was angry at every little thing that
Yeah.
was going on to her, that day. Like all the misunderstanding back to back.
Oh my
And
God,
then,
even the cop. Ugh.
oh my God, that cop was on my last nerve. If it wasn't for that girl, and then, he's the one that hit her. He's the one that crashed
Yeah.
into her. He's the one that like did everything. And then, the other girl cop that was there was like, you better just go. Like just everything because of there's bad cops out there. I'm not saying
Hmm.
there isn't. There's good cops and there's also bad cops. There's at the bank there's good people and there's people that follow the rules, but there's also like, hey, you've seen this lady before. Like I understand there's things to follow, but I've worked at customer service and there's certain things I would have flagged. I know that's so and so, that's her check, I've seen her come in. I would have you know, at least spoken to your manager and be like, hey, she didn't bring her ID this time. Can we just cash it? We know her. We know who she is, you know? It's just
Exactly.
everything. It's just like we forget that we're human, you
Right.
know?
You start living by you live by the law, the rules so much
Yeah,
that it's like when something humane is presented right in front of you, it's almost like, well, what are you going to follow? Are you going to follow love? Like, or are
yeah,
you going to follow law? Like,
yeah.
it's like, which one
Oh,
are
it's
you going
true.
to
And
do?
it's true because, in this case, if the boss fired her, would have just given her a check instead of being, a total DICK and wanting to mail it to her. That would have changed the perspective. If the teller would have just cashed her check or reached out to the main lady, the lady that was there. Hey, you know what? We've
Mm-hmm.
seen her a couple times. Can we just cash it for her because she really needs to check? She didn't even steal the money because remember that they gave the money. All she took was her paycheck.
Right.
If
Yeah.
she really was gonna rob them, she would have not left the money that because she ended up shooting the robbers.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like she would have had more money. Um, just just everything. If the cop would have had not been a DICK, DICK as well, you know, she would have not got her car impounded. Like just everything was just going wrong. Nobody was on her side, and just because a person in authority, that's what it was. It was literally someone who's in authority and
Mm-hmm.
choosing to use that. And I dislike when people who have a manager position or above position and they try to use that to like make you feel belittled or like have that authority over you. And it's like, dude, if we go home, we're both the same people. Like a title doesn't really make you.
Exactly.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. No, I mean,
This
that's just
movie was
real.
very like, oh girl, like I cried, I was angry, I was like also at that moment to where I was going through in my personal life, I was just like, this lady is just trying to get her medication, just to get her check, to go to the bank, just to cash it out so she can buy this medicine that she can't afford because the system is failing her daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
Yeah, no, I literally was trying to multitask while I was watching this movie. I had my laptop open. I was like, okay, I'm about to like watch this in the background while I work, and I I couldn't work. Like I was so locked into this movie because of how stressful it was. Like this is one of those movies that start off from beginning to end, it will suck you into the movie.
Oh my God.
Like you can't help but get into a low mood when you watch this movie.
Yeah.
Like which was actually like it really affected me for a few days actually. I was just like, man, like I was burdened by like it wasn't just being burdened by the movie. Like it's the fact that this movie is a representation of so many situations that stuff I can relate to in my personal life as well as other things that you just know other people are going through that you're just
Yeah.
angry at the fact that there's people like the other people that are in this movie that did not help her, and even how stressed out that she was, like
She
the
kept doing the right thing. She kept trying to do the right thing.
yeah, and she just felt like
Mhm.
she kept saying that like nobody helps me, like no one's ever helped me, like and she was to that point of almost driving her like going crazy,
She was going
like
crazy. She was
yeah,
literally going crazy. I honestly was surprised that she didn't turn that gun and shot herself. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Because
mhm,
it was like everything was like she just got fired. The people got, the guy wouldn't give him her check, and then they start robbing, and then stealing, and then she accidentally shoots. Like it just, and it was like, oh crap. So she took her paycheck. She goes to the bank to try to see, and then only that. Then when they saw the backpack and thought it was a bomb, so another like
right,
assumption. Someone assuming,
hmm
assuming you make an ass out of you and me when you assume. So it's like, wow. And then they're like, let's turn off the lights. Let's do this all because they wanted to not make a big press and not have the news, and because people were starting to tell the truth of this lady because it didn't make no sense. Why, if she was stealing and she killed this person, why would she only take her paycheck when there's all this money there? When they found out that
exactly,
her daughter had died, like, okay, that makes sense. Maybe she's like, there's something not clicking in her brain. When they finally talked to the girl cop that was there when that one guy cop was being a total douche and hit her and was like, I could take your car, I can impound your car, like once again using his authority, his being a policeman,
Hmm.
and things like that. I mean, I've been part of, being judged by a cop and not doing the right decision. So I
Hmm.
sympathize with her. You have no idea how much I cried of anger.
Yes.
Not because I was sad, I was crying of anger because I
Yes.
felt like I've been in her shoes more than once, especially
Yes.
last year, that I was just like, you know what? I hate that we're getting like stereotyped, you know? And it's like this
Hmm.
mom just wanted to work her butt off, get that paycheck, get that medicine, and everything. The police system failed her. Her employment failed her. The health administration failed her. It's like everyone failed her. And
Yeah.
I can really sympathize with her because it's just like, oh my gosh, if I was her, honestly, I would have turned that gun against me, because it's like, like
What do you have?
everything
What do you have
was
left?
pointing at her, making her look like the bad person when she was not even doing anything wrong at all,
No, I
you
feel
know?
like what's crazy is when we I feel like when you look at things that are like fake, like we have our sanity because we feel like we're in the real world, it's like,
Yeah.
you know gravity is it's pulling stuff down to the ground. It's like, okay, it's like, okay, when I speak English and someone hears what I say, they interpret it, and then we should get somewhere in this conversation. It's like, but you start to feel almost detached from reality, like you really are crazy when you're just like, I'm trying to feed my child or give my kid medicine and I need my paycheck, and you don't think this is important. It's almost
Oh,
like, what? Like, are you not seeing my situation? Or it makes you feel off. Like, especially if that's happening with everybody. I could see how you can get to a breaking point of feeling like, am I crazy? Am I even
yeah.
in this reality? Like,
Yeah. Like the
you're
Matrix, like someone just pulled the plug on you and you're
yeah.
just like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, like it almost make because I know I've felt that way. Like, and I empathize with her. I empathize with what you were saying with like your own story. It's like when you've been in those situations where the people around you are not being reasonable, or they're not loving you, or they're not understanding your situation. It's like that's what she was going through in this movie, and it's like you can start to feel like, am I crazy? Or do I even want to be here if this is the people who are going to be around me? Like, if this is what communication has to always be like, if this is what doing life in this world has to always be like, it's like, how in the world am I supposed to maintain? Like, you almost feel like stuff isn't real.
Yeah. And not only that, if your child passes away and then this is happening to you, it's like, do I ever want to be here? The only one important thing that I care for is no longer in this world,
Exactly.
you know?
Yeah.
And then everything that just happened to you within that whole 24 hours, it's like, are you kidding me? Like, are you kidding
Yeah.
me? The apartment, cold water. He had no heater. Like, like that whole day that we saw happened didn't happen. It was just her imagination, of what had happened beforehand, you know? It was
Mm,
so sad because I have 3 kids and I can only imagine, like, where do I go with my kids if I have no water, no warm water, no heater, it's cold, like, if I have, if my job lets me go, if like, it was very, it
yeah.
really got me to the core, honestly. I mean, it affected me, like you said, for days, because when I put this movie on Netflix and it says Straw, girl, I was thinking like that one barbershop or
Yeah.
like, honestly, that's what I
Yeah.
was
I was
thinking the
not
movie was
expecting
gonna
this.
be. I
Yeah.
love Raha. I love her. I love her because she became very famous at like in her 40s, which is where I'm at. And I'm like, man, I'm gonna be a movie star myself. And she's living proof that she left with her son. This is her personal life, right? She had one kid, moved from I forget what state, but came to California. She finished her education, and she's like, I'm gonna be a movie star, and she made it happen. you
Mm,
know? And for other people, it looks like it was an overnight success, but it wasn't. For her, it was hard. So I think this role was made perfectly for her because it kind of also reflects her like resilience to just prove people wrong. Like her
Yeah.
tenacity to just like wanting to do the right thing every single time, even though everyone was going against her. And, like, luckily media was playing. Luckily there were people that,
Mhm.
the neighbor, she had no money and she would give pennies or 10 cents or whatever to that one neighbor that was living in the
Oh,
streets.
yeah.
Remember?
Mhm.
Because of his
Mhm.
testimony. She wouldn't do that. He always gives me da 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 da. Like, because of all the little small acts of kindness that she had done, what is it? Selflessly.
Selflessly, yeah.
Yeah, that when the reporters started coming in the news and it started going out there, how it got all like viral,
Mhm.
was because of those people. Like, no, that's my best friend. She would never do that. The lady from her work,
Her job, yeah.
her job. And then the neighbor that was a homeless guy, just those people that were like, no, her character's so hardworking, she cares about her daughter. And then they started sharing how her daughter had passed away. And then everything just started making sense for them. Like, oh my gosh, it's just product of her situation.
Yeah.
It was intense. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I really loved what's her name? Tiana
Raha.
Taylor.
Oh yes, yes, I did too. I like her.
Yeah, like
She's very pretty.
she was me. If I was working in law enforcement and if I was in that position and this was the situation, like this is why I don't become a part of certain establishments and I got to be an entrepreneur because I've been in those situations where I'm too justice oriented.
Girl,
like I,
same. Same. I
I'm
look at the
like
bigger picture, not just like, because there's right and wrong. There really is. There's right and wrong, and there's
exactly,
doing the right thing, the moral right thing, instead of
exactly.
just like following the law. There's certain things sometimes. It's kind of like when someone steals food, but they're homeless and they're starving. I wouldn't arrest someone like that. Like, dude, they're already starving. Like, what else can you offer them? They're like
Right.
literally starving. I wouldn't understand someone who has money and they're just going there to steal things, and then that is wrong.
Yeah,
But I
like
understand.
greed or
Yeah,
something. Yeah.
exactly. I know there's people that are thieves, but there's people that are literally starving and they're stealing just food. Not like they're stealing things.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's what happens when you don't have, just certain people that are in those high places, like whoever's in charge. It's like
Yeah,
if they don't have that kind of morality, like then it's going to trickle down to the people,
yeah,
like in the same way, like the fact that Tiana Taylor, when she was, her playing the police officer, it's like, okay, or one of the police officers,
yeah.
it's like, okay, she's
And I
trying to
like
do
that
the right thing.
she hold her place.
You said she what?
Like, I like that she stood her ground.
Exactly. Yes,
Because
exactly.
those are like, how like they have their levels of like, oh, I'm this, I'm that, like the CHP and the cops and the feds and there's certain levels of like who takes priority. But I like that she stood her ground and
Mhm.
went out and looked for the actual, like, did her true diligence and looked for the facts to really prove what she was saying, that one cop. It all started from that cop too. How her day
Exactly.
started going horrible. I mean, the fact that her child already died, but her living that day, not thinking that she had passed away. That is at the very end what really got me, because I was like, to have gone through all that is just like, girl, just arrest me, shoot me, like, my life is already over. Might as well just. It was horrible. It was horrible.
Yeah, and yeah, that has to be the biggest letdown too, because it's like, yeah, she went through all of that, and to actually have that realization at the end of just like, shoot,
Yeah.
like
You know
I
what
did
though? I
all of
love.
this.
Yeah, sorry. I'm
Oh
so
no,
sorry.
go ahead.
I love the part because you know how they were gonna shoot her. I love the part that the manager, the store manager, covered her as they were getting.
Mm,
She let everyone leave. Remember, she left like all the tellers and all the
yeah,
people that were
she
there
was.
leave,
Yeah.
and
Hmm.
she stood there because she was like, no. Being a female, a single mother, them thinking all this other crap, she stood there. She's like, you know what? Her being like, I know this person. I know she didn't mean to do wrong, especially when she found out that it was not a bomb. She also felt a little guilty, and then let her know. So it's her standing in front of her as they're leaving, so that way they wouldn't shoot her, kind of gave me like, oh my God, if they would have shot her, I would have been like, really? She just realized she lost her kid, she lost her job, and then you're gonna shoot her? another person dies because of, you know, trigger happy, you know? Oh God, I'm sorry. Are you there? Sorry. Yeah, it was very emotional for me. It definitely hit hard. I did not know that this was going to be, because I didn't even see what type of movie this was going to be. I just saw straw, and I thought this was going to be like some. I didn't even look at the image. Are you there? Well, I don't know, guys. I think we're having technical difficulties, but it was a very good movie. I highly recommend this. It was a thriller, action pack. I highly recommend it. If you do not want to cry, don't watch it. If it was very triggering, as well. All right. Well, I'm not sure if she's on or not, but or maybe her laptop died. But rated R for reviews. Go ahead and hit that like button, put the comment, and share. Thank you.